In January 2021, I gave myself an insane challenge. Build an RPG where the world never ends, not a survival game, not a sandbox, a procedural RPG with quests, dungeons, bosses, progression, and pets that actually fight alongside you. I wanted to build all of it alone. Wildaria. In 2021, I had a daydream. What if Cube World, this procedural voxel RPG, was 2D, like old GBA Zelda games? And most procedural games are really good at one thing, giving you more world. But most of those games start feeling like a giant survival crafting grind after a certain point. I wanted to make something not just infinite, but a world with characters, quests, dungeons, RPG progression, but with always another boss and quest around the corner. An infinite world sounds simple, but you realize you're not actually building the world, you're building a machine that has to build the world for you. So it takes a lot longer than you'd expect. And doing it alone, well, not completely. I had this little guy. The first enemy I added to the game was a piglet. Early on, I realized I didn't want animals to just be collectibles. I wanted them to be the reason you explored. You find a creature in the world, you tame it, take it with you, which meant I needed to figure out how taming would actually work. 1 year in, the game had a flat world, but it didn't have its identity yet. If pets were going to be the heart of Wildaria, I didn't want taming to be a ball thrown at the character and an RNG dice roll. I wanted you to actually earn the bond. My first idea was simple: feed the animal, hope you get lucky. It was basically a random chance, no skill involved, so I cut it. Then I tried a Guitar Hero style timing bar. I hit the button at the right moment, except pets don't have frets. It felt disconnected to what I actually was trying to do. Then I thought about how animals are tamed in real life, and a lasso came to mind. I built a projectile lasso that could attach to an animal, you pull it in, and it looked cool. There was a tiny problem, though. You could just walk straight up to the animal and throw the lasso and win. Not exactly a challenge. So then I started thinking about my favorite fishing minigame in Stardew Valley. The thing I liked about it wasn't necessarily the fish, it was the tracking. The fish moves and you have to follow it, you have to react. So what if taming worked the same way, but the pet would move around a shrinking bubble, and instead of pressing a button, you had to physically track it while moving around the pet. Stay on the pet, the bubble shrinks, lose track of it, and the whole thing pops. That became the Bubble Lasso, and for the first time, taming felt earned. I finally had the core mechanic, now I just needed a world big enough to use it in. Early on, my infinite world wasn't actually infinite. I was storing data for everything that spawned, which meant infinite world, finite hard drive, you get the idea. That obviously wasn't going to work, so I switched to using seeds. Same idea behind Minecraft seeds. Give the game a coordinate and a world seed, and it can generate the exact same world object at that same place every time. Without storing every single object, we only need to store the changes that the player made. That meant I could destroy the whole chunk, walk back, come back later, and the world would rebuild exactly the same way it was. I discovered another problem. Biomes technically worked, but they kind of looked horrible. Mountains and villages would pop into existence right in front of you, so I had to build a special landmark grid to spawn major locations ahead of you, and biomes would end up as these tiny little slivers. Swamps could get wedged between deserts and oceans, and you could get random land bridges in the oceans. So I moved to using Voronoi noise cells to create proper biome regions. Instead of feeling like random tiles stitched together, worlds started feeling like actual places to go. By 2025, the world was starting to feel real, but it had one problem. How do you map an infinite world? I tried using some of the normal Unity solutions, like render textures with a camera, painting tiles as pixels to a texture, saving map data, and everything was too heavy. So instead, I fed the same noise maps that generate the world into a shader. The minimap wasn't storing the world anymore, it was generating the map the same way that the world does, which meant the map could be just as infinite as the world. But there was a problem. An infinite world with nothing to do isn't an RPG, so I had to start filling it. First came villages, then ruins and dungeons, procedurally generated corridors and rooms and puzzles, boss arenas, and then we come to the animal gods. The boar god, Aura the orangutan. I wanted the gods to feel like they belong to a mythology, not just big enemies with more health. The boar god, for example, gets a second phase where it screams for reinforcements and boars burrow up from under the arena floor. Then came Divoros, a two-headed snakepede that chases you around the arena like a giant game of Snake, until it splits into two separate serpent heads at half health. Suddenly, this infinite procedural world had things worth finding, but I didn't want every biome to just be a different color. The ocean became more than something you just swim across. I built floating villages and underwater combat. Mountains got elevated terrain, actual paths to climb, adding real verticality to this 2D genre that is typically quite flat. 4 years years in, I finally built a world worth exploring, but there was still a huge problem. The pets weren't that fun to fight with. Originally, pet abilities were basically Pokemon HMs, cut, pound, dive, fly. They were useful, they helped you get around, they worked in combat, so I added 20 abilities across the roster of movesets. Wildfire stampedes with meteors are all around. Whirlpool can damage enemies or heal you, or even grow seeds. Pound became a jump smash that destroys boulders and enemies. Gale blasts anything in your path out of the way. And suddenly, taming a pet wasn't just cool, it meant I just unlocked another way to play. But I ran into a problem I probably should have seen coming. I wanted that combat to feel like Hyperlight Drifter, real-time, open world, you and your pet fighting together. But I wanted the strategy of a monster taming trainer battle, and those two ideas really don't like each other that much. In games like Pokemon, you can just cut away to a battle screen. The world disappears and the battle gets its own space, and Wildaria couldn't do that. Battle had to happen right there. Then a friend suggested something obvious, an arena. Medieval Colosseum dropped into villages across the world. You could walk in, choose your pet, fight another trainer in real time. You win, you get an elemental token, fire, water, earth, nature. You can forge those onto weapons and armor and build around elemental damage or resistance. Yes, there are type advantages. And somewhere in the middle of all of this, I was laid off. I'd been working on Wildaria for years, and now I had even more reason to ask myself, when is this thing going to be done? I released another small game on Steam while I was laid off because I decided it was not even close to ready, but I kept working on Wildaria and I just didn't stop. I rebuilt the water system like 6 or 7 times because every time I told myself it wasn't good enough. 5 years had passed. The little prototype of the piglet had turned into this, an infinite world with dungeons, animal gods, pets, real-time combat, a story, progression, villages, mountains, oceans, and thousands of fun, unique procedural moments made because of the game made them itself. I could keep adding features forever, but at some point, people needed to play the game to make it better. So I brought on a marketing agency, and for the first time, Wildaria wasn't just me and our grassroots community. They helped get Wildaria into festivals posted by IGN, Indie Games Hub, and then...
No, my kill is gonna be stolen by the other goose.
Your kill credit! Piggy!
Yes!
Look at the XP!
I slayed a mini boss.
Holy XP! The goose! Get another one! Get a second!
That's the Yogscast. They're playing my game, and they're actually having fun. I've watched these guys for 15 years, so seeing them play something I made is completely surreal. When I started Wildaria, I never imagined I'd see this. I was just a guy trying to build a game I wanted to play, and now people I've watched for literally half my life were playing it. That meant more to me than any number. But speaking of numbers on Steam, the Wildaria community continues to touch my heart every day in Discord, playtesting and having fun exploring the world, and you all are the reason why we broke 30,000 wishlists last month, which is insane. Thank you so much. But the challenge isn't over yet. New Slayer quests now send you out from towns to hunt creatures terrorizing villagers, and those quests start pulling you into the bigger conflict between the gods and the people of Wildaria. I'm still adding new pet abilities. One of my new favorite systems I built recently is the call and recall system. You can carry a full party of pets on your hotbar, call in one, swap to another, and change your strategy in the middle of the fight. Call a fire pet to break the guard, recall it on low health, bring in a water pet to heal, then swap to a flying pet to reposition. Your party isn't just a list of pets you've collected anymore, it's a toolkit. 5.5 years, 5,000 hours of just the development piece. At the beginning, all I had was this idea, an infinite RPG, a piglet, absolutely no idea how long it would take, and now you actually can play it. Wildaria is available to wishlist on Steam now. Early access will launch in the early October. 5.5 years ago, this was a piglet, and now it's a world. See you there.